know why it wasn't us out, but you can definitely write it in. It is Anna Lewis. Anna Lewis. Anna Lewis. Our next candidate is Assemblymember Adam Clayton Powell for
Good evening, buenas noches. I'm in the State Assembly and could have ran for an easy re-election this year, but instead I chose to run against a 40-year incumbent by the name of Charlie Rangel. Some people may say that's bold and courageous, otherwise some people may say I'm crazy, maybe a little bit of both. So let me tell you a little bit about me. Some of you, particularly the old-timers, may have heard about my dad. Or some of the young people may know the street in Harlem. My father passed away when I was very young. I was 8 years old. So I grew up with my mother in Puerto Rico, which makes me obviously bilingual, bicultural. Went to Howard University. Then I went to Fordham Law School. Upon graduation, I became an assistant district attorney in Bronx County. I then ran for city council in 1989 and lost. In 1991, I ran again for city council and was elected. I served there for 6 years, and in 2000, I ran for the state assembly and was elected, and I have been there for the last 10 years. Some cynics may say, here comes another career politician. Not at all. Let me tell you, in 1991, as in 1989, when I ran against the entire political establishment and won. In 1997, could have ran for an easy city council re-election, and instead, as some of you may recall, I ran for Manhattan Borough President. I don't believe these jobs are forever. In 2000, I came back, and again I ran against the establishment for the State Assembly. In 2010, here we are this year, I could have easily ran for another easy 2-year re-election term to the State Assembly, but I don't believe these jobs are forever. Now, the congressman has had a long history. Obviously, 40 years creates a legacy, undoubtedly. But many people believe it is time to turn the page. Why? He is no longer chairman of Ways and Means. That was one of the most significant reasons why we kept re-electing him and this community kept supporting him. From East Harlem to Washington Heights to the Upper West Side. And in 2006, when he became chairman of Ways and Means, I was the first one that approached him. And I said, as long as you're chairman of Ways and Means, I will support you. Because, you know, people always talk about the bad blood because I ran against him in 1994. But really, I told him, as long as you're chairman of Ways and Means, I will support you. That's important for our community. He's no longer chairman of Ways and Means. And I'm not going to talk about all the turmoil. He's no longer chairman of Ways and Means. And people may say, well, he has 40 years seniority. His colleagues of 40 years, his colleagues of 20 or 10 or 5 years are the ones that ask him to step down. Those are the same colleagues that are returning the money back to him that he donated or to charity. So it's important that we realize that it is time to turn the page. There's something else really at play here, also at play. Many of you know, but some of you know more politics than I do. Like I said, I ran because I believe in public service. In fact, one of the commitments that I made to myself 20 years ago when I ran for office is I never wanted to become a politician. You know what I mean. I've always had an open door policy. I'm not the creation of any counter leader or political machine or political organization, but rather I believe in serving the public. But one of the things that's at play here is that some people believe the incumbent, if he is reelected, and I don't believe he will be, that he will not serve out the 2 years, but simply will try to step aside, resign, and manipulate the county committee process to pick his successor. Now, I don't know about you, but me, I personally believe that the people of Northern Manhattan, not this congressman or this county leader or any political political person, but the people of Northern Manhattan should be the ones to have the right to pick who the next representative in Congress is. And I don't know about you, but I feel very offended by that. So if that offends you, that's fine. That's not my creation. That's what's going on out there. So I'm not afraid of a fight, and that's why I'm running, giving up my easy re-election to the State Assembly, because I've never been afraid of a fight. And that's why I fought in my community to bring computer labs to all of the public school buildings that deserve one. I'm about to finish, but let me just finish. I fought to bring a healthcare center to my community. We're about to cut the ribbon in a few weeks. And I fought for many of the progressive values that you believe in. Rockefeller drug law repeal, marriage equality, immigration reform. And indeed, I'm going to fight for you. If you elect me to the United States Congress, you will know someone you can look in the eye and speak to, you won't need to go through this political person or that political person, but rather I will have an open door policy because I truly believe in public service. And if I haven't changed in 20 years, folks, I'm not about to start now. Thank you all very, very much. I look forward to working with you whichever way it works out. Thank you.
Well, I read in the newspaper, I don't know if it was a few months ago, that you had some problem with the traffic law issues and drinking problem. Could you explain more about that?
Sure. I took it all the way to a jury trial because I believe in my innocence, and the jury acquitted me of driving while intoxicated because I wasn't. And you can go to the videotape because by me being a public figure, everything is out there. So if you Google my name, you'll be happy to see the video for yourself. Don't take my word or the cop's word, but look at the video and tell me if that's someone that was intoxicated. Those coordinating exercises are difficult enough at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Try doing them at 3 o'clock in the morning when you're by yourself with a cop that's already been lying and trying to intimidate you. So that is the story of a public figure.
You talked about seniority in Congress. What committees would you look to join if you were elected?
Well, the reality is I don't necessarily want to look into the World Series before we get into the playoffs, so to speak. So I'm not going to try to look into committees or staff, but I will say as a vision, obviously education is always one of my key, one of the things I focus on. Housing, as we have a crisis of affordable housing in this district and throughout the city. So I would like to join some committees or be in some leadership levels that deal with affordable housing and education, at least for 2.
Recent events, many of us are concerned, and certainly it's an issue that's very, very big in this district.
Yes, I have traveled to Israel with a delegation led by the Speaker, Shelley Silver, and many leaders in the Jewish Community Relations Council here, Reverend Michael Miller and others. And from the very first day that I learned about the issue, even before I traveled there, I support the State of Israel in its original form.
People are talking about medical marijuana lately, and I personally feel that doesn't go far enough because legalization could bring billions of revenue at the federal level, billions, and it could crush the cartels in Mexico by destroying their revenue stream. So how do you feel?
Yeah, I was here when you asked it before. I'm very familiar with your question. If it makes you any happier, I voted for medical marijuana, which was a 3-hour debate in the State Assembly. But unfortunately, I don't believe in legalizing marijuana. Things change. I mean, positions, people change just like anything else. But right now, that's my belief. It should only be for medicinal purposes, period. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you.